I am the Instructional Technology Coordinator for Pender County Schools in North Carolina. Well, began with sort of making the connection between video games and learning, and looking at video games from an instructional design point of view, and making the connection between the kind of activities that game players engage in and the kind of activities that we want to see happening in the classroom. And so then worked simply just to look at World of Warcraft through that lens, and bridge some of those gaps and build some curriculum around it. Games are the way that kids entertain themselves largely outside of school, and for so long we've sort of kept those as two separate areas, games and fun and school and work, and we tend to keep those as in our heads anyway, in our philosophy, as two different polar opposite things, and I don't think it has to be that way. And so what we need to do then is look at what's going on in current modern popular video games, and if there are places where we can connect those to our curriculum, then we should explore those. It's been very simple to do with actually with Minecraft, and especially with World of Warcraft because of the language arts connections. The primary mechanic in the game for advancing your character is completing quests. Quests are typically given to you by non-player characters, and they involve quite a bit of reading and higher level reading. And then there's the subsequent problem solving and higher order thinking that that's involved in overcoming or completing the quest. And so that was an easy connection for us to make, and say we want our students to read, we want them to be avid lifelong readers, and we also want them to write about their experiences. And so that's where we made that connection. I think some are better than others, and I think there are some games that cause us to do a little more cognitive exercise than others. You could use Civilization, for example, in that series in our history classes, Angry Birds in physics, World of Warcraft and language arts. There's so many places that we could explore this. I think different games could be applied across all spectrums and all different subject areas. I think for me personally the easiest connection is language arts, and that's simply because as a gamer outside of my professional world, I enjoy writing and reading about the games. I enjoy writing about my characters and things like that, and so that has been an easy connection for me. Making connections to things like science and mathematics is certainly possible as well. It just depends on what your particular areas are and where you're willing to extract those ideas and make those parallels. In the World of Warcraft course, we had approximately 16 students this year, and they were all very interested in the course and engaged throughout, and really excited. We had students literally running from recess to get it back into the school building to get into class to get started on a daily basis. I mean, we would have to say, stop running, class is going to happen, don't worry. And that's not something that you see with the typical class, especially language arts, I think. We've observed improvement in behavior and social skills. We've had attendance improvements in students who are they have a reason to come to school now. And that's largely a group of kids that we set out to impact with this. There's been probably a pretty significant difference in assignment or quest completion rates, because one of the things that we aim to do is give students choice in the sorts of quests that they choose to complete, and that's something that we're going to be moving toward in the coming year, is diversifying the course and offering more choice in the types of assignments or quests that the students complete. I think student participation was much higher than in a typical class. The number one thing is, and if you're really interested, if you're a teacher and you're really interested in replicating what we've done, go to the wiki that I've set up and download that free curriculum. All the lessons that we did are in there. And in addition, in the back, I've got information about how this impacts your network and bandwidth. We did all that testing, what kind of performance we saw on just basic computer lab computers, and then some tips about, how do you approach your administration, how do you launch a program like this, and again, that safe place to fail is a big idea there, and those sorts of things. So, and then realize that you're not alone. There are other people out there doing that, and if they want me to Skype and talk to them and talk to their administration, I'll be happy to do it because it's something I'm very passionate about and I believe in. And it is beneficial working in a small district as well, because we're a closer knit group and we really work as a team, and that helps a lot. And so when I initially pitched this to my fellow instructional team members, I went to them and I had my background research done, and I had the general idea behind what we were going to do and what we wanted to accomplish with it as an after-school program. And I just said, here's the idea that I have. I've got the funding for it, and this is what we want to do. What do you think? And the general response was, we don't exactly understand all of this, but you got your background work done, and it sounds like a good idea, and it's to benefit kids. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. And so then I went and approached the administration, Ms. Skipper at Cape Fear Middle School, and I said, this is the idea I have. And again, another shout out, she's a visionary principal, and she said, this will be good for our kids, and I know kids who need this. I think you're going to see more of it. I think we're going to see hopefully a maturation in the field of serious games and edu games. What I want to see is more investigation of the use of commercial off-the-shelf games like World of Warcraft or Minecraft or even things like Call of Duty or whatever. I want to see more people looking at investigating, bringing those in, because the work is done. They're commercially viable games. They have got a lot of money poured into the development, and they're good games. So looking at where we can extract learning from those and where they fit and where they don't fit. That's something I see. Love your kids is my advice. Love kids. And if you don't love kids and learning, then you're just in the wrong profession. Take risks and really tap into students' passions and make that connection with them, and you can teach them anything.